Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Demon, and we are doing another episode of Once Human. Essentially, we have a few things that I'd like to cover today. Sort of the basics of water and liquid distribution and electrical distribution, but I don't know. We'll see if we have time for electrical. I mainly want to focus on the hosing and stuff. So, might be familiar with my base. I made a giant tower thing. It's been kind of just more functional, and I've been building onto it as it went. So this is where my animals are. This is my garage with my deviants and stuff. This is what got hit by the space whale poop, sky whale poop. You can watch that video if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about. These levels are all my gardening. This is my sort of patio, I guess, like a nice one that your guests want to go to. This is more functional because these have to be on top. And that's where we're going to start. So, these are rainwater collection systems. What they do is they collect water from the rain. Amazing, right? So when it rains, these fill up. But now with how things work, you have to pick if they get polluted water or dirty water. And they have their own. I don't know if they collect water at the same rate. It could be like a percentage, like if the water's 100% polluted, then it's polluted water, and you get all the polluted water that you would normally get. I don't know if it filters it and separates it. Okay, how do I explain this? So if we have 100 units of water that normally that are going into the collector per se, right? And if it's 50% polluted, do we only get 50 of the polluted water because we don't get both? You can only pick one. So does that reduce the number, or is it 100 water, 100 water? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It makes a difference. I'm not sure. If anybody knows and can point me to a video or something where somebody tested that, that'd be good. Anyways, so all of these are polluted water, and they all drain into a tank below. You see these blue snaky spirally things? That is showing you the water flow. That is indicating that the water flow is going down into this upper tank. Now, why do I have two tanks? What's the point? Well, these water tanks can only hold, I think it's 9 connections total. We take a look, I have 8 of these. And the reason they're at a weird angle is because my base cuts through this polluted area, right? Like, it includes my water pumps, which now have a roof over them. They're lined up along my house. Those need to be in a polluted area to get polluted water, right? So this slice of my house is polluted so that I could get the correct production. I could have perhaps made a separate, what would have made more sense in a lot of ways is just have a separate building, one for residential and one for production. Maybe that's something I'll work on next time. What is my mushroom guy doing? Guy, it ain't worth it. Think about your family. No, okay. Shouldn't joke about that. I know people, you know people, but this is just try to make a joke of things, people. Calm down. So but he's holding on. See, he's got his little mushroom feet. He's just holding on there. He's working. Man, you're not the prettiest, are you? Wow. Okay, so these are my gardening areas, which we will take a quick look at. So we are now flying up in the air. Sorry about all the crazy movement and distractions. It's the mushroom's fault. So you'll see the line of that base is kind of in line with the pollution that goes across. Yeah, definitely next time I'll make 2 buildings. I'll make a production building and I'll make a residential building. That's actually a really cool idea. I like that. I'm probably not gonna do it in this iteration because this took a lot of work. Anyways, so that also means that my workstation's polluted. No, I think it's the pattern on top is different than the pattern on the ground. So I think it's actually a 3-dimensional thing. we can test this. Yeah, like look, I'm not getting pollution on my backpack. See, Blobby doesn't have numbers in front of his face. You see that? How do I don't know how to zoom in. Anyways, geez, put your knife away. That's not a knife. Anyways, so none of this is actually polluted, but it does pick up polluted water. Oh, it's jump time. Yeah, something that I've noticed is people have been using my house as a jump-off point. So exactly why I made this balcony is what people have been using it for. So you jump up and then go grab the crate. I'll just show you real quick. We do ADD here. We like to wander with our thoughts. So I did change my weapon mods around. It seems like shield piercing is a lot more effective. Whoa, my jumping is not working properly. You guys don't mind if I take this, do you? Nah, you're fine. Oh, got a polar jelly. Where'd that other one go? There was a couple more. There you are. It's just a red thing. Where's the other one? Are they like camouflaged? Alright, can we get this on the first go? Yeah, baby. Ow. Yeah, sometimes my graphics glitch out and I can't see things properly. Anyways, auto take. Be sure to put your auto take on. If you don't know how to do it, ask me and I'll make another ADD filled ridiculous video for it. Okay, awesome. So I like the way my house looks. This is the additional part we will check out a little bit later. Just had to do a little bit of an ADD thing. I really like those crates, and I really want to grab as many of those deviants as possible. Come on. So, yeah, we'll look at that mess later. We'll look at that mess later, and then that mess later, too. So, then we have my garden. 4 layers. Well, 4 half layers to be accurate, but 4 layers. Yeah, I don't like how the production gets into the residential. I like to keep my work-life balance separate in some ways. So, anyways, but this is a nice view up here. I like it. Where's my flashlight on? It is. So the rain comes down, right? Day after day, whatever, and it fills these up, and then that, yeah, this is a very tricky situation here. I might have to change that. It's just there's limited amounts of ways I can do this with what I want to do there. My brain will figure it out. Okay, so all of these up top automatically drain because of these little tubes that you can delete individually, but be very careful or you'll delete the wrong thing and then you'll get mad. So that graphic is showing us that this water, this polluted water, is going into this tank. Now, these tanks are amazing because they're like little containers. Depending if one flows over, then it uses another one. The logic to them is better than it used to be. So essentially, this water is going to get put into this tank. Uh-oh, that flyer is getting too close. Hey, screw off, man. You don't want to mess with me. Oh, I took his stuff, though. He was probably supposed to be guarding that stuff, and I just went and took it. He's like, forget it. It's not worth it. I'm not going to shoot at that stupid building all day just to attack him. Say he's leaving. He's leaving. He's got the lazy trait. You know what? Just gonna look at my rifle for no particular reason and, just, load it with this ammo for no particular reason and, get out of here. Get. Alright, so we're talking about water. See, they're really distracting today. Whenever I try to do a video, they wanna photobomb me. Alright, so these collect into here. There's 8 collectors on the roof. Why did I only build 8? Because I have a connector piece, a pipe that goes between these two. Right? Don't I? Now I do. Whoa. I forgot to do that before. Okay, I was looking at it. I'm like, there's supposed to be more than 2 connections there. Okay, good, good, good. So these are a collector of the tanks, right? And then it goes into here. Why am I having it go into here? Because then I can have more connections with this one. So what this one does is it distributes that polluted water or dirty water. I could switch to see the way I made it so that if I want dirty water out of any of these, I can just walk up to it, switch it. It'll still be collected in here. It'll still be distributed in here. And then from this water tank, it goes to both of these water tanks. So there's the one that goes into the tank on the right, and here's the one that goes on the tank on the left. So why do I have two? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pumps. 9 of them are polluted water. 1 of them is dirty water. So I think before the magic number used to be 8 pumps for the acid, and then if you had 9, your production went down. I'm not sure what it is. I'll be totally honest. I haven't measured it yet. I think I'm getting a little bit more, but it also rained the last couple days that I've been actually looking at it. So do your measurements, find out for sure. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future. Anyway, so these are groundwater pumps. They are very similar. You choose what you want in the, now we're gonna have to go all the way back down, aren't we? You choose what you want in the choice thing. What do you call that? Chooser bar? Yeah, I'd rather be like Johnny on the spot with this. Oh yeah, that's right, it's jump time. So they'll tell you, when you look at them from the outside, it'll tell you how much power they're using and if they're red or green, if they're working. This one might not be working. It is, that's right. This last one shuts off when I use my stove and my furnaces because I could use a little bit more power to be running everything all the time. This one has my dirty water, and you can choose. I'm also on an oil area. That's why this place is very special, because I can get crude oil or dirty oil. But actually, I can't get polluted water with this one. But check this out. I can get polluted water with this one. That's where the edge is. The edge is right here. Look at my backpack. So this one is good to be used for dirty water because it actually cannot get polluted water, but it can get oil. So then these ones can get oil, dirty water, or polluted water. See how that works? And they're at 0 out of 4,000 because they are draining out. Now, I'm not going to show you every single one, but they're all the same as the polluted ones. See? So front and the back, we get a good idea of what the whole thing is. So that water, I'll just do this handy dandy graphic and I'll step out of the way and go into fly mode by pressing tilde. Oh, so build mode is B. If you're on keyboard, just a reminder, tilde, the key that is left of 1, goes into fly mode, and then you use WSAD to move around, jump to go up, and C to lose height. Whatever. Okay, so these flow into here very nicely, and then we see, well, what's going on the top here? Well, this water, whatever it is being pulled by this pump. Okay, so if it's dirty, polluted, or whatever, it's getting pulled by this pump, and then this pump is moving to these two. Now, this one purifies my water, and it's a large filter, so it purifies a lot of water, all right? And everything's connected by electricity. I'll just talk about the electricity for a moment. These are in a chain, so if there's not enough power, one of these stops working first, which is fine. It's one of my extra polluted water. If I need to smelt my ore, then I need to smelt my ore, right? Where are we? Okay, so this is the water, and I'm gonna go show you that. So this is all nice and organized. It's way better than it was before. It was such a mess. It made my eyes hurt. Kind of like how this does. I need to organize, maybe, if I can. It's just kind of a necessary evil at this point. Like my fish? Of course you do. My fish are awesome. Oh, I was gonna go to it. Okay, show you. So this is filled with dirty water. It's maximum on dirty water. That pump is just jamming as much dirty water in there as it can. It's actually, it gets rid of more dirty water than my base has been producing. I've been getting dirty water from like the shore, just pressing G, picking up a little bit extra, and then throwing it in the tank when I need it. And this is the purified water it's made in, like, I don't know, a day or something, maybe 2. I'm not sure. That can't be right. Maybe it is. I don't know. Because I pulled everything out. I forgot to write that down. Anyways, but write this stuff down if you really want to know, and then you'll know all the rates. If you want me to figure all this stuff out, I can do it. That's fine. I just wanted to give a quick overview today. So, because I simplified my system and I thought maybe somebody else is having an issue with this. So then this purified water gets piped into this first barrel, which is purifying my acid. So that's filled up as well. I've been putting the water from the purifier into here to fill it up, because you need to like backfill these things the way that it's set up for them to chain together, or else, you know, they just always keep it takes forever, because you're waiting on the last operation to dictate how much working stock or pipeline inventory, whatever you want to call it, is in the other containers. So realistically, I want to fill this one up with purified water and fill this one up with impure acid. When that fills up, then that'll allow this one to fill up. Otherwise, this one will try to fill up first and then dump out into this one, and the second one will be start for resources. So specifically the impure acid, that's the thing we're keeping an eye on right now. So that's filling up into this barrel. I already took some out. This is like in a few minutes, that's how much has been produced. So I filled this up as much as possible. So when this is full, do you get it? Yeah, you guys get it. If you have any questions, let me know. But the point is to fill up this barrel, because it's the last operation step before the finished good, and then the finished good spills out. I have the barrels connected between each other, so what they do is the acid drains out in here, and then that's a finished good for me. This is all my finished good inventory. Excuse me. So this is where the purified water goes, and then I have some purified water and boiling water over here, because this is not this is not hands-on inventory. You have to manually pull this out to use it in like a stove or something. So I have boiled water and purified water in there as well. Okay. I'm sure you guys get it. So if I only had one barrel, I wouldn't have to move these between each other. You get it? So that's what we're working on. This makes the impure acid. So this has been slowly filling up. So with the new pump, I added one pump the other day, and now this is slowly filling up. So this is at maximum capacity. That's what we can take from that. If there's a slow buildup and it keeps going and going and going, then it's like level production too, right? Because we have level production with our water pumps that are in the ground, and we have sporadic production with the collectors we have on the roof. So those only collect when it rains, okay? But it's passive, and it's free, and it's no energy. It just takes up functional facilities, which we're at 241 out of 250, so we got to keep an eye on that. But worst case scenario, I nuke a few plants, whatever, I don't care. Because that's where most of it is. Like 120 of my facilities are just plants growing the acid, which, you know, I'll show you guys a little bit of that too. So this is the most straightforward system I can think of to make this work. Typically, before, what I had is I had double redundancy on everything. So this produced water, and then the water was put in this tank, and then this tank pumped it to over here, and it was like, I don't think I need it to be that way. I just need to level my my production. as much as possible, and it'll work out. So I did by getting that extra polluted water. That works sporadically though too, because when I'm using my oven in my furnace, remember that's gonna be used up. So anyways, this is the setup that I found is working best for me. So that's 9 polluted water pumps. And then these are making the sub-assemblies with the purified water and the impure acid. And then the finished good is the acid, like the finalized full power acid with 2 barrels. This pump right here, I'll do it this way. This pump takes purified water from the finished good tank over here. Remember, this is finished goods. This is acid and purified water. I need to get more lights in here, don't I? I'm gonna fix that. I took them away because they were getting in the way. There, that's a little better. So, still dark. So this pump is, its only job is to put purified water into my sprayer. That's its only job. And then you'll notice that there's 2 coming out of it. Why do I have 2 coming out? Isn't that weird? Well, that dumps into my barrel as well. So the overflow puts the extra into the barrel, because then when the purified water tops up in the barrel, it'll, we're manually topping it up here so that this will fill properly. But we made it this way so that this fills up and not this, and then it just spills out. We want this one to fill up right now, right? We want to be in control of, because when this is totally full, you want the excess from the sprayer going to this barrel, because then that will fill up and then it will drain into this, and then the extra will go back into the tank. Otherwise, it'll only be filling 1 barrel is the point, okay? All right, trust me on this. And what's the other one? And then and then the water goes here as well. Wait, why does the water go there? It doesn't need that. I'm not sure why I did that. This is why it's good to double check this stuff, because I don't think there's any reason I'm going to need to have purified water going there. So, see how it's dull? Press R, now it's gone. So we didn't need that. That's what happens when you make stuff when you're tired. All right, so that cleans it up a little bit, which is nice. So this is our acid production going very well. That's for our sprayer. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, so with your electricity, it's a lot nicer if you have those little nodes. What are they called? Words. It's in here somewhere. Production, processing, storage, defense, function. These menus are a little tough to get through sometimes. Here we go. Facilities, water, and power. So we have choice. You can put these up, but the problem with them is they use functional facilities. I know that makes sense from a computer standpoint, but from this standpoint, it's like it's a cord, man. It's just organizing your cord management so that I could put my cords like across my ceiling or something and just make it really nice. I might do it anyways because this is kind of mayhem right now. Another thing that is a good idea to do is you can arrange your piping in a vertical fashion. I might do that moving forward, like move the fish tanks maybe into this corner and then move this water production over here. The trick is that we have kind of a situation when it comes to the water over here. Sorry, I got a phone call I had to ignore. So, I don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah. So, our water collection is on this side. Specifically, we do not... yeah, like I don't really want to have a water collector in my room. Like realistically, I'd probably wall this off. One thing I did in one of my builds is I had like a mechanical maintenance spine that went through the middle of my building, and all of my water and power went through it. Um, so because that's actually a very interesting design, and then I had my stairs right next to it. So structurally, it was really built up in the middle, and then everything else was a dome coming off of that. It's actually a very interesting idea. That's another interesting idea that I wouldn't mind doing. But right now, I'm looking at a little bit of the ugly every morning when I wake up in my luxurious industrial double bed. I love the way that thing looks. Anyways, and then I get to work. So, yeah, this feeds in here, and then we do have one feed line. No, see, these confuse me because they go in both directions, but the linking tube has to be a minimum length. That's why I think it does that. And then it's like, no, that's all part of one. That links the top tank to the bottom tank. All right. So, yeah, if I had something in the middle, if I had my mechanical spine, or even you could put that on one side of the building, it's just not structurally a great idea. But this building, the basic template is like, what, 3x4? I could beef that up. It's just I wanted to keep the footprint as small as possible, but that didn't last. That didn't last, man. When I remade my entrance, there is a little tiny gap here where a raccoon could probably sneak in. I'm gonna try and figure out if there's a way that I can block that somehow. I'm not quite sure how I would do that because there's a gap because of my foundations. So, pro tip, keep all your foundations at the same height. I don't know why I changed that. Oh, because of the height of these. You know what? I'm gonna fix that. Probably by next time, I'm gonna have that fixed. I'm gonna level this all off so that I can grab this out because I don't want unexpected raccoons throwing a monkey wrench into my water production, my acid production. Okay, and to finish it off, whoa, where the hell are we? All right, so this is my power and fish room and acid production. Yeah, I really do need to just have like maybe a maintenance spine that goes through the middle of the building, and it has all my electrical, all my power stuff. And then I would like to put these on the roof because they don't make sense here. So that's another thing I want to do. Like logically, they make no sense, but it is a good idea to have one down in the middle of all your productions where you have your switches that you can check and look at your power consumption, because this is the only way to know how much power you're actually using right now is by checking this. Then you can flip your switches and be like, oh, what is it now? Oh, okay, that's how much it uses. So whatever, like right now I have two of these shut down because when I use yield on these, then I need to have all four. But when I don't, they just sit idle, and that's fine. That's production that I can have. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. I might dismantle them. Anyways, so the acid production, the first acid production we had was from contaminated plants. We'll go over here. So these contaminated plants grow. They don't need any light, but they do need humidity. Fortunately, the water sprayers go through the floors. I think it's 2 full or 2.5 full floors it will go through, which kind of makes sense because water is going to flow down. Oh, I didn't upgrade all my boards. I'm seeing that now too. Oh, how embarrassing. Ugh. 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 There we go. This is what happens when you do things fast, ladies and gentlemen. Things get missed. I think I went... What? No, you go the other way, man. Oh, Nikes. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. And then these two are the wrong way. That needs to be fixed. Everything's going this way. See? They're supposed to, oh my gosh. They're supposed to have an alignment. The whole house is in alignment with the floors, okay? It's a feng shui thing. You need it, trust me. Okay, so I have a light here. I don't need it. I just want to be able to see the plants at a glance. Plants at a glance. Is that like a book? Maybe it's like a romance novel. Plants at a glance. Plants. Anyways, so my mushroom guys, they do all the work, pretty much. They are blue because I'm in a contaminated zone. They have, I think they have a chance of working faster. I'm not sure if they need to be in that polluted zone, but they do seem to work faster than other. I put ones that were the same strength, like the same attributes, and they seem to move slower than these guys. These guys' special thing is 25% of the time there's a chance that working will not consume their energy, so you basically get 25% overtime for free. See what I mean? The more they work, the more they speed up the plant growth, and the faster they plant the seeds. So I have it on a rolling kind of system. So I'm not sure why these are slower per se, but there could have been a delay. There might have been short a couple of seeds, and then the production got off a little bit. It doesn't matter. I have a continuous grow, continuous production. Each of the grow shrooms in his little area has, well, in his containment facility, I think it's called, has like 150 extra seeds. I grew extra seeds so that if one's busy, another one can start planting. If one's harvesting, another one can plant. It doesn't matter who it is. They'll just plant. And funny enough, they all have about 150 extra, and their planting rates are different. So if they're awake or not. So this has actually increased my production. Just making sure that they had enough buffer inventory is what we call it in supply chain. So what else? Yeah, I could paint the inside of this, but I don't care. Maybe I could, I don't know. I care a little bit now because I just thought of it. I'm like, well, maybe something could look even better. Like, we could brighten it up in here and do this, and then we don't have to look at the wood. But yeah, that's kind of nice, isn't it? And just brighten it up. And we could... See, I just let my ADD roam free when I make these videos. And then tile would make sense for a grow area. It'd be a little bit easier to clean, I guess. Actually, steel. Just like steel plate is one of the easiest to clean for this kind of a thing. You just hose it off. Anyways, but this looks pretty good. And I might go with that. I might even make the floors. I can do them like that. I kind of like that. It looks really clean, doesn't it? Looks nice and clean in here. I sound like Lenina Huxley in Demolition Man when they go into the sewer. It's not very clean. Yeah, well, it's a sewer, honey. Okay. I don't know. I'll look at one and look at the other, and I'll be like, which one do I like more? I kind of like this. And you can have wood that's functional in a grow area, like wood that sort of absorbs moisture and then releases it. So I'm probably going to go with the wood thing. I don't know. Anyways, so this makes all the plants happy. This is filled up with a dedicated pump to make sure that it's always full. It's always full, okay? Which is more working inventory. That's another 1,000. So in this whole system, there's a lot of working inventory. Like this one has 1,000. I can, show don't tell. Show don't tell, demon. Come on, man. That's what my friend Gosser would say. Let's go. Let's just show the poor people what you're even talking about. Gosser's awesome. Safe travels, Gosser. Ugh. I got this. See, this is what happens when I'm in a rush to build stuff. Did you hear me? Did you hear me put the brakes on that one? All right, so here they have 1,000, and this is all purified water that's been pumped up here. That's 1,000 purified water. That's no joke. That's quite a bit of working inventory. It's sort of a default backup, like in case you need more. Oh, these are my old balconies. I kind of like these better because you can see more out of them. You know what I mean? So, ADD roam free. So if we do the, whoops. What? I pressed the wrong button, apparently? Oh, I pressed escape instead. So if I do, like, these ones. Like, they go a lot better with the wood floor, though. But you can't quite see as much. So then you got to go up to the railing and yell, I'm on top of the world! Right? Just like that movie of that famous boat that went and hit an ice cube. This looks better from the inside, but you can't see as much on the outside. Well, the outside's not as pretty. So we can go with that. That is my core. So this thing, you have to attach a wire, insufficient power. You're not even going to let me look at it. I can't even look at the thing. It needs the power. It takes 15 power. Jeez. All right. What's the quickest way I can do this? Is just, no. Oh. See, I want to show you this. Oh, wait. This thing uses power. See, that shut off my water sprayer, so I got to be quick. Oh, didn't even work. Snap. I feel so well prepared right now. Can you? Okay, so that goes back on. Attach wire with X. We press C to go through the floor because we're magic like that. We'll put it on this. So hopefully that'll have, you know, it'll be able to have priority. Nope. Anyways, it takes 15 power. It takes boiled water. It's a pain in the butt, but it's like your only option early game to actually do growing because you don't need the memetics, so you can actually get growing sooner, which is nice because it gave us a boost. This was, I think, the first scenario where we were able to use this right from the beginning. So essentially, I had that's why I built this thing. So the, I'll go into fly mode because I keep getting in the way. So this thing was put here where the water sprayer is now, and the light grew the plants. Strangely enough, the light in these permeates the floors the same way as the water sprayers do. But that's actually good because then you don't have to set up all the freaking lights. Ugh. I have to fix that. There we go. Brain fart. Lights. Yeah, so it acts as though it has multiple levels of lights, just like the sprayer has multiple levels of water. So this is actually a hugely beneficial thing to you. Why is it doing that? Can I have my thing? Target building does not exist. What are you talking about? Yeah, the game glitches out once in a while. Don't take it too seriously. Okay. For the 10th millionth time, lights. So the greenhouse thing acts as though it's lights. Ugh, those don't line up. My OCD is yes. So it acts, the greenhouse acts as a sprayer, but for light. And you get to choose the level of how much light you want. So it's actually hugely beneficial, but it goes through a ton of boiled water, which is problematic to get in the beginning. But I think maybe it keeps it in control. But you should be able to put purified water in there as well. as well as purified water. Since we're talking about it, you know, we're getting the multiple layers down. I am a gardener class, right? Because it was the one I could test productivity the easiest. Because Beastmaster, yeah, you can produce other beasts. Oh, and you'll notice that the pattern isn't uniform. That's because I've had to move some around, erase some, and when I made my walls, don't make your walls right next to the, don't make your these things right next to the wall. Because then if you want to upgrade your wall, it gets all screwed up. So don't. Okay? Pro tip. What were we going to look at? Water. Something to do with water. Weren't we talking about water? Wow, my ADD is real today, ladies and gentlemen. Water. Yeah, so the water, the purified water, you want a place to accumulate it, right? Like, that's how much we've made just in, like, a short amount of time. And we can just go yoink and pick it up. And as long as, you know, well, you could do this and then do this so that your acid's always at that point, right? So you pick it out, and then when it goes back in, it goes in the first one. I actually like it on the right side because then these two are right next to each other, and that makes me happy. So I don't know why I changed it, but I wanted to show you how it worked. So do that, okay? Oh, the fertilizer. See, I knew if I talked about purified water, it would remind me what the heck I was talking about. So I have a lot of acid. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count Dracula tells us I have 8 stacks of acid, so that's over 7,000. This stuff you want to make for ammo, we'll cover that in another thing. You want to have lots of gunpowder when you make ammo. This is the wrong thing. It's an ammo, isn't it? Yeah. So what makes sense is if this soil solution, if we could put this in the greenhouse and then it would automatically fertilize all of our plants. That would make the most logical sense because right now it's dumb. You gotta put it in your hand, right? And then it's like, oh, you have fertility. My region's very fertile for some reason. So I'm not 100% sure why. I think it's because I'm growing the contaminated stuff and in a contaminated zone. So it's telling me that the fertility is very high, which makes sense, right? Because this is where these plants grow. They grow where it's contaminated, where there's pollution. So, yeah, I really need to get my house separated from my production if I'm going to be in stinky, polluted areas. But essentially what you do with these things is you pour them out. It takes 10% of the barrel if you do it manually, which is the only option right now. And then you'll see in the top left there, I'm trying to put, see in the top left, I can't really aim at it, but it says region fertility. 700 is the maximum. Soil solution left is what I have in this tank. So look at that number on the top left. It's going to go from 80 to 70 in 3, 2, 1. Bammo. Almost. It's pretty close. And then what the gardeners can do is, I have a lot of ammo, yes. Yes, I do. Gardener. Here is you can use this thing to check your temperatures. Area contamination is 2. See, it's going up when I move around. So my plants are in the contamination. They're down with the sickness, all right? They're down with it. They're down. I'm actually getting a little bit down with it, so we're going to press 7 and drink an ale, and then we're going to pop out our blob, and look at how quick he heals me. Boom, 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 boom. There's like a rhythm to it. See? It's not consistent. It's not linear, which is kind of funny. Anyways, so the fertility's top. The area temperature's 15. The plants don't really care, and the heating systems don't work properly in this game right now, so that's fine. The contamination. Oh, that ceiling is driving me crazy. I might just have to put white wallpaper on it just so that I don't have to fart around with switching those, because switching those around when they have something on them is a giant pain in the butt. So I am going to do this right now because it's distracting me. I want to fix it right now. that's my way I like to do things. It's better to do things now than it is to wait around, right? Just do it. Get it done. If it's not perfect, that's fine. Nothing's perfect. Ever. The only thing that's perfect is the idea that's in your brain that's telling you how you want things to be, and that's fine, right? You want to have a the best situation possible. That's good. These are half walls, remember, so that we could structurally build this whole thing in a good way with the levels. Because if you build like boxes on top of your levels, it's actually annoying. So this makes sure that you always have the carry weight, so to speak, on your things. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, like the carry weight on the floors, right? Because it'll tell you that, oh, you're exceeding this number, you can't build there. So, but yeah. See, don't do what I did. This is what you don't do. Like put it like leave, I don't know, go half of one of these tiles maybe. Just leave a little bit of breathing room, because when you switch these and switch the walls, it gets real mad at you. So these I didn't have to move because I don't know, it just didn't, you know, this game's a little glitchy. It didn't need me to that time, so I didn't worry about it, so that's fine. Oh my god, that's still wood. Oh, don't tell anybody, all right? I feel like we're doing a remodel and we're like spray painting over like mold or something. Oh, I got such a dirty feeling in my stomach. Ew. All right, I'll have to upgrade those later. Yeah, and I can't get to those yet. The prints you want to put down before you put your crops down, I didn't know what this was going to look like. But realistically, I like them in a white room, because then legitimately in a gardening area, you want there to be white around, because then if there's bugs or there's some kind of contamination, you'll be able to see it faster. That's why hospitals are typically white, so that if there's any kind of contamination at all, it's easy to see. And then you know you got to get that clean, because you're a clean little bugger, aren't you? Yes, you are. You clean it all up. Good stuff. All right, so we're not going to do all that stuff, but this is amazing production. How much production do I get? I get about 400 a day with standard production. Acid. I get about 400 acid per day from the crops, and then I get about another 200 from the pumps. So I'm getting about 600, 700-ish total. And if I put yield fertilizer in with my grocery roomies, see, look, they have even more. I think it's actually more. Sorry. It's 400, I think, times 2 for the production, because I bump over into 3 machines. I'm gonna end up bumping over into 3 machines again. But you see how I have 127, and then I have this maxed out. We grab this, 220 berries, 44 berry seeds, 43 berry seeds, 215 berries, and then that's 179 seeds at the top. This one is 127 at the top. This one is 154. Okay, this one has the lowest. This is the one that we top up. So the top chooser thing is what you want to take out of there, what you currently have, and then we got to scroll all the way to the bottom for some stupid reason to get the berry seeds. And then we go maximum, throw them in there. So then he can plant. This is just the easiest way of making sure they're topped up. They don't always all have to be completely equal. If you have enough seeds, it's fine. Okay, so last night I actually topped these up. Or no, this morning before I did the recording. So they've already made 7 each. But this is what we'll do, okay? We'll start from scratch. That puts all the stuff back. Make sure you pick these up so that your production is complete, and then cancel them. Okay, that's the smart way of doing things. Otherwise, it cancels your production, and I think you might get the stuff back that you wanted converted. Wanted to be converted? Words. Words are good. So acid, that's using 297 berries to make 99 acid. So this is super important to do. And that's what you want to do, right? Right. And then you want to make 2 of them. And then this one, You want to make 2 of them again. Boom, boom. But look, we have extra. We can make 2 other sets. So we want to go into build mode, B tilde, press X again. Now that's connected. And these have a priority to be used. So one of my pumps outside probably went off. That's fine. And then we're making 600 acid for the next 16 hours. So you'll look at the timing. So you're making 600, but that's at 2/3 of the day, right? I make 400, 400, then 600. It seems it's something like that, right? So I need the third machine because of that a little extra bump in the timing. Because every 2 productivity cycles of 16 hours, I get an extra 16 hours that's freed up, right? Because if I'm producing 24 hours a day, 16 hours is 32 hours, right? Yeah, anyways, so there's an extra one every 3 productivity cycles, which is every about 2 days. So every 2 days I got an extra 200, so that's an extra 100 a day. So my productivity is 400, so that's technically about 500 just with the plants. And then about 200-ish, it varies, right? Because of the rain and because of which pumps are being used, the productivity of the acid varies between, I think, 200 and 350 is the range that I would guess shooting from the hip. So total, we're making about 700, 800 acid per day with this entire setup. Is this extreme? Yes. Is it ridiculous? Yes. Is it completely needed? No. No, it is not. So build mode, tilde, press L, go into display, click this. We don't have to look at those wires anymore. Thank you for indulging me with looking at all those crazy wires. This shuts off my water outside. So I click this, it just shuts it all off. Everything gets shut off. Everything. So that's if there's a problem. It's kind of an emergency switch, I guess, is what I was thinking I want it for. I probably don't need it, but I don't know. We'll find out. I just like the idea of being able to shut it all off. So we're building up our purified water slowly. We're building up our acid. I think that's everything that has to do with the power and the water systems specifically. So we could check this and say, oh, we're at 172. That's how much we're using. 10 to 1, one of those, the last thing is not being run. See? Because the way he's set up, he's not being run because I'm running that extra synthesis bench. I tried to make it that way. I guess I succeeded. So, because these are attached directly to one of the solar panels, when this has a switch in between it, so I think it lowers the priority, and then the switch is connected to the solar panel. So there's one more step in between, and I think that lowers the priorities of your items. So that's a key tip as well. And I'm just looking at the area contamination a little bit. Yeah, that's funny, eh? Anyways, maybe the scanner in the future will show us, like, visually when we're in build mode where the contamination is, so that when we're building our stuff we can line it up and be like a smoky fog or something, so then we can see where it is. So when we're building our production house, then, you know, acid production, I guess that's a whole thing, but ours is kind of integrated. What would be great is if we could save, like, modules, like systems of modules, like my water system, if I could save that, or something like that, so I didn't have to reconnect it every time. But I cleaned it up. It used to have 4 pumps because I made all kinds of redundancies when I was testing how things work this time around. So this is how things work. So this is the simplified system. This pump you know, it has one job. It pumps the dirty or the polluted water to the tanks. And if I had oil production, I don't need it because we just steal top fuel, the high octane fuel. This pump, I don't know if I could put this pump and then just have like a an oil thing. What are they called? Whatever. One of the oil production facilities. So anyways, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I think we covered just about everything in the video as far as power and water. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to be keeping my deviation stored on this side of my house since this side got blasted. Oh, crap. It's going to hurt my animals if it does that again. Well, that'll be animal on animal violence. Anyways, hopefully that doesn't happen. Thanks for joining us again today. This has been Demon, and we were talking about water, I guess acid production, electrical setups, and pollution, and how to set those systems up. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We will catch you next time.